Alright, we're given this sequence, and then
You want homework for tomorrow, Friday?
it is subtracting 6 each time. To be able to write the equation, you got to find the 0 term, since that's the first term, second term, third term, fourth term. That would be the 0. So that gives me my 0. So I added 6. Find the 14th term. That means you just plug in 14 for your n, and you get negative 15. Can negative 63 be in the sequence? Well, that means it has to be this side, and we have to find out what sequence, what part of the sequence it is, what term. And then subtract 69 from both sides, divide, and you get 22. Yeah. If it was like 22.1, no, it wouldn't be. What do you multiply 27 by to get 18? What do you multiply 18 by to get 12? And that's 2/3. You could have divided them and saw that worked. So that would be 18 over 27 would be 2/3. And you have to have the 0 term. So I divided by 2/3 to get back to this direction. That's how you have the 40.5 times the 2/3 raised to the n. 14 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Go backwards, we divide by 2. So we started with 7, and we're multiplying by 2 each time. This reader's eating a lot of candy. Start off with 132, and he eats 6 every day. It's a negative 6 because it's going down. In 9 days, so you plug in 9, you get 78. 6 days ago would be negative time. So I plug in negative 6. I got 168. When is it going to run out? Well, that number is 0. This is when you're out of it. And then you just solve, subtract your 132 from each side, divide by negative 6. The population of Loomis is increasing by 1% every year. So that's 100% plus the 1% every year. That's 101%. As a decimal, 101% as a decimal is 1.01. So I take my original population, multiply by 1.01, raised to the n. In 15 years, you raise it to the 15, type it on your calculator. 25 years ago, that would be plugging in negative 25, negative 25. Here's my negative exponent part, so I'm going to take 3, and I have 2 raised to the third, which is 8, and then I have to raise this to the third to raise that guy to the third, so that's just multiplying the exponents. This one didn't change. 8 times 3 is 24. Y to the third times y to the second is y to the fifth, since it's positive exponents on top. X to the negative 12 times x to the 10th. That would be a negative 2 exponent, so that tells you it's on the bottom, so it's just x squared. I squared it, squared it, squared it. That's how I got this step. 16 over 6, you can take out a 2, take out a 2, that leaves you 8 over 3. Negative 6 minus 1 is negative 7, so that tells you it's on the bottom, so it's a to the 7th on the bottom. 2 minus a negative 5, minus a negative means you're adding, so that gives you the 7. I have same base problems, so this one I didn't have to change. This one I just have to change it to a 5. So 5 raised to the second would be 25. So 5 raised to the negative second would be 1/25. So negative 2. So if the bases are the same, the exponents are the same. So I have negative 2 equals the 4x minus 3. Add 3 to both sides, divide. Two to the third is 8. So 2 to the negative 3 would be 1/8. I have to make this a 2 also, so 2 to the second is 4. Distribute, that's how I got the 4 here, equals this negative 3x. And then subtract 2x from both sides. Divide, and you got 4 over 5. Solving for y, I need to get the y by itself, so I got rid of the 8x by subtracting 8x from both sides of the equal sign. Then I have negative 2y equals negative 8x plus 10, so I'm going to divide by negative 2 on each side, because negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1y. We just don't write the 1 because we're lazy. Negative divided by negative is a positive. That gives me my 4. And 10 divided by negative 2 is negative 5. Solving for w. I got to get the w all by himself. So I subtract 2p from both sides, and I subtracted 4. That's how I got the 3w by itself. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. So you get 5p minus 4 over 3. Some people wrote it 5p over 3 minus 4 over 3. That also works. Since they're both equal to y, you can put them equal to each other. Or I just look at it as substitution. You just substitute it right in for the y. Add 3x to both sides. Subtract 13 from both sides. Divide. And you get your x equals negative 4. Plug negative 4 back in. Negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12. 12 minus 7 is 5. This is equal to y. So this x minus 13 I can plug in for the y. So that's what I did right here. I wrote down the 4x minus the 2 times the y equals 38. Now I just solve it. Distribute. Negative times a negative is a positive. Combine like terms. Subtract 26 from both sides. Divide. I got 6. Plug 6 back in. 6 minus 13 is negative 7. So the point where those two lines intersect is 6, negative 7.